Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Hearing Things with Julie and Brad. Today we're going to talk about a kind of serious topic. We're going to talk about awareness versus acceptance. So Julie has done a lot of research and a lot of writing, and she has a lot of thoughts, which she usually does, but this stuff's important. So, Julie.
Absolutely. So I wanted to talk about the terms awareness versus acceptance. And this goes back to probably in the last 10 years or so with the Autism Speaks, extremely controversial organization for many, many reasons that I won't get into here. But their big thing was autism awareness. And the shift in recent years has been away from awareness towards acceptance. And I want to talk about the difference of what that means relative to disability. So it's a big language shift. Awareness is passive. Active is active. Acceptance is active, right? So awareness is just kind of over here. Acceptance is active thinking and,
It's the next
movement
stage.
and connection and things like that. So what's the difference? Awareness. You know that there are people out in the world that have disabilities. You don't really understand the nuances. You may lump all of us in one group. You may only understand the stereotyped information about a particular disability. You don't see the individual, but rather the disability first. Okay? You often highlight the otherness of the disability. So, for example, all of the things, you take out everything else that I am and make my hearing loss the most interesting thing about me, which I assure you it is not.
No.
Disability awareness, you're tiptoeing around and into my most hated territory of, you're such an inspiration. Or, my other personal favorite, you've done such wonderful, you have overcome your disability.
No.
Really? Overcoming means something's gone. No, still can't hear. Nobody overcomes these things. That's awareness. You're not really getting into the personal side, into the uncomfortable, into really thinking it through. You're staying on the surface with it, right? And too often, you're caught up in disability sound bites and the mythical figure that sprung up around my old buddy Helen Keller. Holding up
Moving on.
Helen as the one example of the deaf and hard of hearing in history, but we've seen this show before. We're not going to have it again. Acceptance is what is currently, not in vogue, but currently the push
Buzzword.
to have it be typical now, like have it be more mainstream, away from the awareness, the acceptance, where you're including people with disabilities in the narrative, especially in the decision making. Where decisions are being made, you're including us in those decisions, getting our input, not thinking that you just know everything and go ahead and make a decision about architecture or something. You're focusing on the individual, not the disability. So this is that person first language we often talk about. My name is Julie. I happen to have a hearing loss. Instead of, that deaf woman over there with the hearing aids, that's Julie. So you see the switch in the language, the shift. You're also acknowledging strengths and weaknesses and looking at us as whole people. Not just our disability, looking at the whole story. Also, this is a big one. You're not viewing the disability as a tragedy or a character flaw or something that needs to be fixed. Okay, that's a very, hopefully soon to be antiquated way of thinking over the next years. Actions taken to remove the obstacle that's preventing full participation. Instead of excluding, you're finding ways to include. And inclusion of accommodations and modifications to ensure accessibility. So we're always having captions on at a work meeting, if there's going to be a Zoom meeting, without even asking or having to think about it, it's just automatically there. Things like that. So that's kind of a very, very, very broad strokes overview of awareness versus acceptance. But I think it's important to start highlighting that language as we hope to continue to shift towards more positive, inclusive language.
Yeah, this is great stuff. I think that we've come far as a society because I think we do need to have these conversations about acceptance. And I love what you said earlier about like involving the people in the community in the decision-making process. That's so important. When back in 2020, when DEI was basically a buzzword, it's kind of curtailed a little bit. But I remember doing research for a land acknowledgement statement, and one of the things that kept coming up is The white guy shouldn't do the statement. Bring the natives that you're acknowledging in to make the statement. It's hard. It's hard to like find them because we did a good job of getting them out of here. And so I don't even want to say it's a more serious example of what we're talking about, because there's so many different ways that marginalized groups need to be accepted, and not just, we're aware of them. I mean, Massachusetts is a Native American name, right? So we're aware of it. Yeah, that's not enough anymore. We need to do more than accept. We need to do more than be aware. We need to accept. And then what's the next stage, right? I think that we need to be thinking about that as well. It's like, what's the next one after acceptance?
The next stage is normalization.
Yeah. Oh, great. Yep.
Where it's just who I am, right? I mean, it's I always come back to that example of the special friend that everyone learns a lesson from. The character is never just a character in a book that happens to have a disability. It's always the character that's the special friend that, we're all feeling really good about ourselves for including them in the game, and we're going to learn a special lesson from them about how even though they're different, we're all the same inside. Okay? That's the stuff we got to keep moving away from, to move towards normalization.
That's great.
Right? I mean, even go back to Sesame Street when we were growing up. Linda on Sesame Street. She was an adult that lived on the street. But her deafness was always the first thing about her in any storyline she was in.
Yeah, I mean,
it always made it a point to be about things she can't do, and we're going to help her do these things. Oh, yay, Linda! Yay, learned a couple signs from me. We'll move on. That kind of stuff is what I'm talking about.
But I think that was what, the 70s, 80s. I think that's where the awareness. We were fighting for the awareness. You can't run before you walk. But we've been walking for a while now, and so I think you're absolutely right to be frustrated at trivializing and oversimplifying someone to one trait about them. So yeah, if Linda was the special friend teaching one sign of the day, it's not enough now. Even in Sesame Street,
it wasn't enough then. In retrospect, as a kid of the 70s, 80s, 90s, I look back and I just get so upset because I'm like, that's all I had was Linda on Sesame Street and Helen Keller. That's it. I didn't see anybody else that looked like me in books, in media, in movies, in my world. I was the only kid in my elementary school with a physical disability, the only one in my family, the only one in my friend group. It's not enough. So I really want to see that push towards normalization. And I think we'll get there eventually, hopefully in my lifetime. But
I'm hoping that this conversation is helping. I think our show is helping because I knew Linda when I was growing up, and she was the deaf one, and yet I didn't talk about it. I didn't even have hearing aids yet. Yeah. If we talked about it, if we went past the awareness, when in the 80s when I was growing up, would I have gotten hearing aids 20 years earlier? Maybe. And so this is why we want to have these conversations.
It's so funny. I would see her and go, that's the deaf one. And I would think, but that's not me.
Yeah,
That's not someone that looks and communicates like I do.
Right.
That's not me. So I would push my hearing loss to the side, my identity right to the side, and just keep plowing forward. So it's interesting how these societal norms have impacted us growing up, and also now as adults kind of stepping into our identity.
Yeah.
Both stepping into our identities in two very different ways.
Absolutely.
It's just helpful information. So start changing your language from anything that says awareness to acceptance. Start making that shift.
Words are power, right? So you need to use those person first terminology. That's the first thing you can do. Normalize the person first terminology. Like we are hearing aid users. We're not people with hearing aids, Right. Anyway, thank you for doing this research. It was, I mean, these are important topics to have. They're not always easy, so I appreciate you talking about it and you guys watching it if you're still here. So if you've not clicked off to something else. Anyway,
okay.
Should we do books?
Sure.
Do you want to do book first?
Sure.
What do you got?
I am reading my first Agatha Christie.
No, what are you doing? Which
The
one?
Murder of Dan Ackroyd.
Roger. Dan Ackroyd's the actor. Roger Ackroyd is in the book.
Dan Aykroyd's the actor. Oh, that's the Ghostbusters guy.
Yes!
Roger Ackroyd.
Roger Ackroyd. I love it. I'll be very interested.
The Murder of Roger Ackroyd.
There you go.
So I just started. I'm like 20 pages in, maybe. Yeah. I'm loving it.
Oh, are you really?
I fell asleep reading it last night, so I'm kind of bummed out. I didn't have time to read yet today.
Yeah.
So I literally just started it.
Okay.
But you and I have talked about Agatha Christie, and I was so excited. It's going to be my pick, even though I haven't finished yet. And now I've sorted out which Ackroyd is which.
I'll be so fascinated to talk to you after you finish it, because I maintain that that's one of the best twists in all of written history.
Really?
One of the best twists ever. So
All right.
I'll be interested to see if you agree with me. At least, maybe not ever, but I'll be interested to see if you agree that it's one of the better twists you've ever read.
Because I was going to read
Such a good
book 4 of my favorite.
Oh, Alan
Flavia.
Bradley?
I love her. I was going to read book 4, and I was like, you know what? If I'm going to read a mystery, let me jump on
Nice.
over to Agatha Christie, because I've never read her.
Oh, so
And
good.
I don't know why I've waited so long. It's fantastic.
There's a stigma to Agatha Christie
Yeah.
too, right? She's a kind of staid, kind of old. The writing style is unique and it's a little dated for sure, but she was a phenomenal writer. So yeah, I'm glad you started it.
I'll let you know.
Yeah, please do. All right, so I am gonna pick another older book. I'm gonna pick Childhood's End by Arthur C. Clarke. So this book is a science fiction book.
That's why I've never heard of it.
Yes, right. And Arthur C. Clarke is 2001 Space Odyssey.
Oh, that's that guy?
He was the original author. Yeah.
Wait a minute. I thought, what's his name of the movie? I didn't realize that was a book.
It was a book.
Get out.
Yeah, Arthur
Who's
C.
the guy?
Kubrick. Stanley Kubrick is the director. Arthur C. Clarke
I'm thinking
is the...
Dan Aykroyd's getting murdered.
Poor Dan.
All kinds of thing. I don't know what's happening. Okay.
Anyway, so this is it's like a 200-page book. I think it was written in the 70s, and it's about aliens, an alien invasion that comes to kind of save the world. And speaking of good twists, this was a really good twist. So you go through the entire book without the humans seeing the alien. And at the end, the alien reveals himself, and it's clear why he waited till the end to reveal himself, because of his appearance. So it's another pretty good
So
twist.
is the whole book worth reading, or should you just read like the last 10 pages?
I don't know. You'd have to read more
To get
science
to the
fiction.
twist? I mean, like-
it's like a 200-page book, so it's not that long.
Okay.
So it might be worth reading because
I'll
it's
think
not
about it.
too long. The story takes place over 100 years, and it's only 200 pages. And so a lot of short little scenes. So you might be able to burn through it pretty quickly. But it's got a pretty good twist. So 2 books. Again,
Twist.
this stuff just kind of happens. Like,
Yeah, we didn't talk about this
great
one.
history twist or mystery twist, great science fiction twist.
Mm-hmm.
So now you got 2 twisty books to choose from. But yeah.
Except Oliver Twist. That's Dickens, right?
Oliver Twist is Dickens, yes. It's good. I like that. David Copperfield. Great Expectations. Tale of Two Cities. I've read all those. They're really good.
No.
No?
No.
So if you ever hear her recommend a Charles Dickens, you'll know that Invasion of the Body Snatchers happened.
I'm the alien from 2001 Space Odyssey that's come back. It's not me recommending Dickens. All right, everybody.
guys.
Thank you.
Take care, guys.
Bye.